Hi, thank you for coming. And my name is Carrie Hunt, and I'm the director of Wind River Karelian Bear Dog Partners. I am the founder of Wind River Bear Institute. And our institute has been around now for almost 30 years, hard to believe. And what I founded this institute to do was to try to help bears and people get along better. How many of you have seen our dogs on TV or in the newspapers? All right, you've seen them. Well, we've been doing this for almost 30 years, and what our mission is to teach bears what the correct behaviors are around humans, and to teach humans how to help bears not get themselves into trouble. And these dogs, these Karelian Bear Dogs, are our partners, and it's an amazing thing that's happened in that we are using another species to help us teach bears. So it's humans, dogs, and bears, all of us working together to try to, as that much used word says, coexist. And what we do is we work and teach the bears by pushing them away from places they shouldn't be if there are people occupying those spaces. We teach people and we help folks at their homes from here all the way to Japan. We have been working all over the world teaching people how to get along with bears. Our dogs fly in the cabins of the airplanes with us, and we've been to Alaska. How we use the dogs is they are attached to us. They're rarely loose because we don't want them loose. They are bred to hunt bears. We're using those same beautiful characteristics that they have to find the bears and not be afraid to actually push bears out of places they shouldn't be. But we keep them on leash because we don't want a bear-dog-bear fight in a campground. And at the end, I'd love for you to ask some questions. And I like that. That's very cool. Can you wait? Okay. So I founded the Institute in 1996. We do about 800 bear pushes around the world annually. We have never had a dog hurt, never had a bear hurt, and never had a human hurt. That's a big deal to us. Yeah. These dogs are our partners, our children, our friends, and those of us working in this program that own the dogs are family. We really have pushed the envelope. When I started this, nobody thought about teaching wildlife. It was more about habitat acquisition. You need habitat to have wildlife. It was about harvest. You need to keep the numbers at the right carrying capacity. But wildlife behavior modification was not even a thought. It is now. It's a science. Human-wildlife conflict. How many of you guys, well, and first, before I go any further, I want to introduce the two people standing on either side of me. Jessica Reyes is our program biologist. The Institute has a base in Fairbanks, Alaska, where we do all kinds of work on denned polar bears for ice roads and behavioral problems in Alaska to the Yukon. And down here, Jessica works down here in the lower 48 with me. And Rebecca Fisek is an intern And we take interns. We do volunteers. We need you. So be aware that if you love dogs and want to do something that matters, we could use your help. So, yeah, how many of you guys have dreams about, how many of you kids especially, have dreams about what you think you want to do when you grow up? Do you? I did. I wanted to help bears, wolves, and dogs get along with people. Where did I get that idea? The Jungle Book. I was living in the Andes of South America. There are no bears where I was living. It was a desert. And I read Roger Kipling's Jungle Book when I was 8. And I told my parents, I'm going to help bears, wolves, and dogs get along better with people. And they supported me with that idea. And I had counselors and teachers say, there aren't any jobs in that. Well, I followed my heart. So you guys, all of you, and how many adults have dreams of what you want to do when you grow up?
I'm still dreaming.
I haven't stopped either.
Good,
Never stop dreaming. So you can do what you want to do, but you're going to have to work hard. There wasn't a science of human-wildlife conflict. There is now. I've had people come up to me and say, oh, we read about you in our textbook. And I'm like, I'm not that old, am I? Yeah, that was my dream, to change how we handle wildlife, to give them a chance to learn, and to give people a chance to be teachers at their own homes. So, yeah, I developed bear spray. How many of you have heard of bear spray? Yeah, that came from my master's. I worked with Chuck Jonkel was my major professor. He believed in me, and that came from my master's. How many of you have heard of shooting bears with rubber bullets? I did the first rubber bullets on grizzly bears. You know, nobody thought you could do that and not be eaten, but you can if you ask the bear to leave and you make the right thing easy and the wrong thing difficult. That's a horseman's term, but it definitely works on any animal. So the Karelian Bear Dogs were an extension of that work. The Karelian Bear Dogs were my idea of how you don't have to put radio telemetry on bears. You can find them if they're not collared for programs that don't have the money to collar bears, and to try to work as ambassadors in education. Because surely these nice dogs, if these dogs are this nice, how can bears be that bad? Well, bears don't want any trouble. They want to leave. We capitalize on the natural fear bears have of canines, wolves, and coyotes. And we use that when we're pushing them. So my dream was to do what I'm doing, and it's changed as it's gone along, but here I am. Jess, you had dreams. How did you end up here?
So I actually grew up in the Sierra Nevadas of California, and I have ranching family there in rural Sierra Nevadas of California, and they constantly complained about mountain lions and coyotes killing their calves during calving season, and saying that they wanted to shoot every single one, that there's no such thing as a good coyote. You shoot every single one, shoot every single mountain lion. And, you know, I grew up believing there has to be a better way. You know, we're on this planet together. We have to believe, we have to be able to live together. And so my passion, my dream is creating and implementing these coexistence solutions. As she said, you know, we have to learn to live together, help each other learn to live together. People, bears, mountain lions, all animals, deer, elk, you know, there's a solution with it all. Because we all are drawn to the same places. We all love to live in these beautiful places with the creek running through our property, And with all these berries and apple trees surrounding us, well, all of these things are food and habitat, a home for other animals as well that are drawn to the same areas. So if we're drawn to the same areas, we have to learn to live together. Otherwise, what are we gonna do, live in a prison? You know, that's no way to live for us or the animals. What about you, Rebecca? Do you have a dream?
Yeah, I was born in Nebraska, and I grew up in Vermont, actually. And throughout Vermont, I never felt like I was truly home until I was outside with wildlife. And I moved to Montana from Vermont when I was 18. And out here, I fell in love with nature, with the environment out here, and with the animals. And wherever I have been, either here in Vermont, the one thing that I've loved the most is wildlife and the outdoors. And it makes me my happiest self. It makes me feel at peace. And being with these dogs is the best thing I could have asked for. And being the chance to work with you guys has been such an amazing opportunity. I've always wanted something like this since I was young. And I'm so excited I'm finally here and being able to do this.
She had the courage to write to me and asked if there was a possibility for interns or volunteers. And it didn't happen right away, did it? 6 months later, I said, you know what? I have an opening now. And it began. So, all right. So what we're going to do today is going to be important for especially you kids, because I'd like you guys to see how bears learn. And you adults, then, they can remind you when you're leaving garbage out, where bears can get it, what they saw today. So we're going to show you how bears learn, because it is really easy for a bear to go from being wild to being a huge problem in one night. And I've seen it happen over the past 30 years. But we're going to show you a worst case scenario and then what you can do to fix it and how you can help us. Because our job is to go to you in your homes and help you figure out how not to attract bears into your homes. That's what you're going to learn today. So, we're going to come over here, and we're going to I'm going to narrate this, but okay. So there is a wild bear in the woods, and that's how bears should be, not coming in around homes. Wild bears stay in cover, or they come out where there's nobody. But what happens, one of the worst things that happens, is bird feeders on the edge of cover in your backyard. Backyard bird feeders on the edge of cover start a ton of bears. And why would that be? Because they have noses, they smell it, and that is a McDonald's for a bear. It's huge. This bear, oh gosh, this bear has now gotten bird seed. That was a huge food reward. And now, look, this wild bear that's never been around a house sees the bird feeder on the edge of the deck. For the first time in his life, he's coming out of cover near a home. But why would that be? Because it's a bird feeder. Oh my goodness, now he's gone and he's gotten bird feed and he's near a home. Now he sees this other bird feeder, but it's a hummingbird feeder, so he's up on the deck, first time ever on a deck, and by gosh, he is not. How many of you guys think that sugar water is a nice thing for a bear, especially in the heat of summer? Of course, all animals love candy and sweets. He has now gotten into the sugar water, and look what he has basically stumbled into. They feed their dog on the deck. This bear has now, in the course of just 10 minutes, gotten bird feeders, and he is getting into this Tupperware. Tupperware does not stop bears, you guys. Do not, please don't keep your dog food on the deck where bears can get it. Dog food, cat food, any kind of feed. Oh, now he smells in the open garage more dog food, but look what he stumbled onto now that he's right in your housing area. Garbage, great smells. Bungee cords do not work. Good dog. Bungee cords do not work on garbage cans for bears at all. And look at this bear. He is right into it. This is fast food, McDonald's, just snorfing on the remains. Do you think that garbage is very good for bears, even health-wise? No. Why would that be? Because there's all kinds of stuff in garbage they shouldn't be eating. There's glass, there's cardboard, and that brings us to recycle. Oh my gosh, bears love to get into recycle. It smells like food. It's wonderful. This bear just has learned to get into garbage. Now he's in recycle. And uh-oh, look, he's found some stuff that if he eats that, recycle is really bad for bears because they do get glass, plastic, oil, all kinds of, detergents. We don't know how many bears get sick and die from recycle. So now this bear says, oh my gosh, I smell dog food. It's stored. He has now gone into a three-sided structure. Do you understand how that worked? He got dog food here on the deck. He smelled it in the open garage. Now he's gone into a garage. And now he's been exposed to cat food. So now he's like, oh my gosh, he is on a food high. And he's found the barn, and they have an open barn door. So he's already been into an open garage. Second time is easy. He is now into horse feed. Horse feed is one of the worst feed sources you could have a bear get into. It is complete bear food. Carbs, proteins, and now he's looking at the chicken coop. Oh my gosh, they're storing their feed in their chicken coop. Do not do that. Most bears that go into chicken coops go in it for the feed, not the chickens. And when the chickens are flying around, that's when they get to the killing chickens. It isn't about the chicken to start. The feed needs to be stored differently. So, all right, this bear has gone from a wild bear to look at what he has learned and done all at once. He's full. He's gonna probably go and bed down in the cover of the forest, but he is definitely coming back. Oh, he pooped. Oh my gosh, that is one full bear. He's been there long enough that he has pooped. Well done. That is a staff member from this library on his first bear adventure for us. So now Jessica is going to play the homeowner. She is the
Oh my gosh.
She has just returned home from an evening dinner party.
Oh man, what a mess. What the heck could have done this? Oh man, my garage, my barn. My chickens seem okay, but my coop is a mess. What happened here? What could it be? What caused this? Raccoons? No, it's too big of a mess. Oh, I think this is bear poop. What am I going to do? I think I'll call Fish and Game. Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello, this is Carrie Hunt with Wind River Bear Institute. We work with Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. Can we help you?
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I live in Missoula by the library, and I just came home after a dinner party, and I think I have a bear that got into my place. There's a huge mess. They got into my chicken coop, my barn, my garage, garbage everywhere, dog food everywhere. It's a big mess. Is there anybody that can come help me?
Yeah, we work with Fish, Wildlife, and Parks to help them answer calls and help you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I found it.
How do you?
That's how I knew it was a bear.
Did you? Okay. Have you had bears into your place before?
No, this is the first time. I've lived here 20 years, and
You live near the Rattlesnake Creek?
yeah.
Well, he probably came right down the creek. That's quite a travel route for bears, and we call it a kindergarten for bears because wild bears that haven't been exposed to human foods are traveling up and down that. So, did you have bird feeders out?
Yeah.
Oh,
I have one at my house and a hummingbird feeder, and I have another bird feeder that's by the creek by my house.
All right. Well, Jessica, we'll come out. Fish and Game isn't, Fish, Wildlife, and Parks isn't trapping bears anymore unless they're a serious problem. But if you're willing to work with us and clean up your attractants, we can chase the bear off your property, and that may not help him because he may go down to your next neighbor, but he probably won't come back to your property. And
Yes,
at
please.
this point, that can help the bear a little bit, and we'll probably work with your neighbors now that you've given us this call.
Yeah, that would be great. I would
Okay.
appreciate the help, and I have my neighbor's contact information, so we can definitely talk to them too.
Okay, well, I'm gonna come again. My name's Carrie Hunt, and we're gonna bring our bear dogs, and they're gonna tell us where the bear came in from, and why he came in, and if he's still near your home.
Sounds great. Thank you. Karen.
Okay, all right, bye-bye. We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
So now, Rebecca, this is, yeah. So, yeah, I guess we, so anyway, we're driving in, and just pretend Jess isn't holding on to a bear dog at this moment. Here, I'll bring 2 bear dogs in. So we're, good find. I guess, okay, what we're gonna do is this, here. The homeowner is in their home right now. And so how we usually come in is, don't feed him right now. Yeah. Oh, for the find.
Yeah.
I see. So we've driven in, and what we usually do is we ask the homeowner what has happened, and then we're gonna let the dogs show us where the bear sign is. So come on over here, and why don't you bring Yoni? Jess is he's our main poop finder. This dog loves finding bear poop. Mowgli thinks he's above it. He only likes to find dead things in bear tracks.
It also has chocolate in it.
Yeah, he's a big chunk. All right, so sit him down. So, sit him down. Are you ready? Check it out. Check it out. So, well, the bear came in here. He ate dog food. Sala, find it. Good find. Mowgli, good find. Good. So the dogs, because they never get to actually catch up to the bear, they get Well, they do sometimes, but mostly we're tracking and finding sign. Yeah, good find. Mowgli, you got anything else? Got anything else? Check it out. Check it out. Got anything else? Oh, so basically, good. Oh, the bear was in the chicken coop. Look at this. The dogs are saying the bear went in the barn. We've had our dogs show us the bear track and that the bear stuck his head in people's dog doors. We know the level of conflict from how the dogs respect and react to bear sign. And so they'll tell us, bear was in the back of the pickup, bear was up on the second floor. It helps us understand how bad this bear is and what in it. Good, right there. He's like, it's in a plastic bag. You've already collected it. All right. All right. So Jessica, can you help us by securing your attractants? If you will, we will chase this bear out.
Yes.
So let's start with your bird feeders.
Yeah, what do you guys think we should do with bird feeders? Do you think it's safe to put bird feeders out any time of year, or what do you guys think? Any suggestions?
Maybe in the winter time, you hang them up high.
Good idea.
You hang them up high?
No, and that's a great question, and I'm glad you're asking. Hanging high is not a great answer for bird feeders, and this is why. Because what happens is the seed's all underneath the feeders, and the bears come in and eat that, lick it up. So best thing to do is...
She said winter time, put them out during the winter, so
Right.
that's a great suggestion.
April Fool's Day, you should take them down, and you can put them up after Thanksgiving. That's kind of how you want to look at it. Yeah.
How about you put them near the nest?
Of the bird? Wow, I love that. Yeah, well, the problem is that, as you saw, bears, this is the hardest thing for us to get folks to do. Everybody wants to watch birds and squirrels, but as you can imagine, it's not, it really is not good for bears. This is one of the main thing that brings them out of cover and onto your decks.
Because there's a lot of calories in bird seed.
Yeah, there's oil, carbs, protein. So if you will keep your bird feeders, just don't use them until Thanksgiving,
I can do
and
that.
then take them down by April Fool's Day, you should be fine.
Okay.
Okay, so
Sounds
we'll
good.
put these in your home until later. Hummingbird feeders, we have something we can help you with. What do we do with hummingbird feeders, guys? Anybody know something that works instead of the feeder itself with the sugar water? Yeah.
What do you think?
Scatter little food around on the ground.
We can't do that. You
'Cause
know
that'll
why?
bring the bear in.
You don't want the bear getting it.
That's like leaving breadcrumb trail
So-
for the bear.
We happen to have in our truck, I'll come right back. Humming.
You out?
They are Karelian Bear Dogs. That's the exact breed name, right? Karelian Bear Dog breeds.
Yeah, I guess you missed the introduction.
Her name is Sala.
And this is young, and he's very young. We'll go around and introduce the dogs afterwards.
So you can hang flowers, tubular flowers, like fuchsias, and the hummingbirds will come in for those.
Are those
And
real?
No.
oh yes. So just instead, if you can just use flowers for your hummingbirds, that works. All right, so
What about dog food, you guys? Do you think it's okay to feed your dog on your porch? Where's a better place you could feed your dog? What do you think?
Inside.
if the dogs can find it, the bear will find it. This is dog food they never get, so they really like.
Inside, but what about my,
This is inside. We're inside a building.
I know, but we're trying to act like we're not. Okay.
Okay, so feed the dog inside and cats too. But away from any doggy doors or cat doors because the bear can get in there.
How many of you guys feed your dog outside? Anybody? All right. Cats in barns. Just try to feed them where those dog dishes. Bears have a great visual memory, and they remember the shapes. So bird feeders, dog dishes. Don't have, feed your dogs inside or in a garage. Keep the garage closed if you're going to be feeding.
And storing food, the dog food. Do any of you store dog food on the porch?
Birds will come and get it.
No. Good job. Yes, that's correct. Okay. And what about garbage? You guys, is there a better thing to do with garbage? Where do you guys keep your garbage?
In a bigger can? In the trash can.
Well, I could still get in a bigger can. Any other suggestions?
In the trash can. In the garage.
What do you think?
In the garage.
Well, this is what we do with this thing. It's like a big toy bin that has doors and a lid.
Oh, that's a great idea. So we call those enclosures. So you could put your garbage in an enclosure, and that's a great idea. Because you can secure your garbage that way. Is there anything else that you could do with garbage? Any other suggestions?
You could put it in the garage.
Great idea. Very good idea. So we can put it in the garage, and we want to make sure it's on the back wall, away from any doors or windows. That's a great idea. Thank you. And recycling, same thing. This stuff is terrible for bears. They'll get into laundry soap and all kinds of chemicals.
You could grow plants in all the empty plastic holes.
Grow plants in the empty plastic holes. That's a good idea. And then you don't have any recycling at all, huh? You're using it.
Or glass Tupperware.
Or
Put your trash in the recycling.
What about a bear-resistant can, you guys? Do any of you have a bear-resistant can?
No.
Have you ever seen one of these?
I seen one. Bad news for me. I can sing so bad.
I've got a.
This flies will be.
So this is a bear-resistant can. These are Kodiak cans. These are IGBC certified, which means they are tested by bears, grizzlies and black bears.
At the Grizzly Wolf Discovery Center in West Yellowstone. And they've been certified. Bears can't get into them. There are only a couple that are now certified. And Kodiak is one, Republic Services, and now Bitterroot Disposal, finally, is totally able to pick these up. The issue is they don't like their drivers having to get out of the trucks, and so they have to be fully automated, and which means This can, the truck has to be able to open it, dump it without their drivers getting out of the truck, and it has to be bear resistant, and the latches have to be working. So,
But we can loan these cans to people with bears getting into their garbage if they have no alternatives of putting it in their garage, or if they have frequent problems, then that's something that we can do.
and we're working on hotspots, fixing hotspots all through the Bitterroot and Missoula area where, like the rattlesnake, where trying to get some of these areas that have chronic bear problems to have bear-proof garbage cans throughout a neighborhood so that bears just don't even bother coming into the neighborhood. So these cans have a 6-year life guarantee, and you can either call your garbage collector and they will provide them at, I think it's $5 more a month, or you buy your own and
It's the same pickup service.
they'll pick it up for no extra. But if those trucks they have do damage these, so we would suggest you let them provide you, and at $5 a month, you're not trying to replace a garbage can. These cost around $300. So, but
But we
anyway.
loan them to low-income families that can't afford them, just so you know.
Yeah.
So that we can help out. Or like she said, $5 more a month, you can get it from Republic Services. Okay, moving on to the barn. The bear got into horse feed. What can we do about the barn, you guys? What do you think? Good idea. But a bear can still get in the door if it's not latched properly. So you gotta make sure you latch it properly, and sometimes if the bear is bad enough, it will tear into the barn door if it's already gotten food there before. So what are alternatives?
You can stain the door.
Stain the door?
I like the fact that
That's
you're,
a great
you're
idea.
coming up with ideas.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I've never heard that suggestion before. What do you think?
Lock up the food.
Yes, good idea. So you lock up the food in a container. So they have different containers. There's metal containers typically are the best. There's like boxes that you could lock it in because they don't smell as much as plastic. It's harder for bears to get it.
You can buy an old freezer that's not working anymore and put hasps on it and lock feed in that, and those work really well.
What do you think?
You could lock the door.
Another great idea.
Yeah.
Locking your door.
Have rooms inside barns that can be locked. Just don't put anything near windows or doors, and you probably are not going to have a problem. That's the main thing. If they can see it or if they can smell it, you just, that, and it's a bear that's gotten it there before.
What if they hear it?
Well, that can be a chicken, that's for sure. And if they've already, once a bear's killed chickens, that bear is going to keep killing chickens. So you really need to not have your chickens in.
Well, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
The chicken coop. So thankfully, this bear didn't kill any of my chickens, but it did get in the feed. So what can we do to secure our chicken coops and keep our chickens safe? What do you guys think? Any suggestions?
I've been holding my arm up for a long
All right, what's your suggestion?
Okay, what is your suggestion?
How about you turn the door into steel and then put a bear-proof lock on it?
That's an excellent suggestion.
You got it. So it's just the idea of making things bear-proof or at least bear-resistant. you have to know that regardless of where you live, Defenders of Wildlife is working with Fish, Wildlife, and Parks to try to help folks. So they will match up to $500 worth of fencing supplies, electric fencing supplies, garbage cans, to try to help people secure attractants. Did you know that? Did you know it's out there that you can call? We'll come out, take a look, and we will make sure you get what you need.
So electric fencing, Defenders of Wildlife can help with that.
Yeah, they'll put fencing up, they'll help put, they will match up, they will arrange for livestock guarding dogs with working with wildlife services. So it's really not that hard to get help if you live where bears are chronically coming in. It has become much easier.
Do you have another idea? What's your idea?
Don't try to leave garbage out until the bears. Don't try to.
Right.
Yeah, so you're saying put it out the day of pickup service?
Don't try to do it.
Well, you're right. Did you know that this is one of the only states where it is actually on the books, it is illegal to knowingly feed bears. So, but that is not, you don't want to force people to do the right thing by threatening. You want people to want to try to work with you.
Okay,
All right.
so we got everything secure. Now what if the bear comes back? What's going to happen? Do you think he'll come back? What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yeah, the bear's gonna come back for sure because he's gotten a huge food reward. Huge. He will come back. But if he is chased away from this site, he won't come back to this site. He will go next door probably, but we would generally go next door and start working down this block to get things secure. So what we're gonna do is, since Jessica, we'll let you handle one of the dogs, and since you've cleaned up your attractants, we're going to work with you to chase the bear off your property, and we're going to ask you to please talk to your neighbors that you get along with, and ask them to try to clean up their attractants. We'll help you with that, but there are a lot of people on the street to talk to, so we could really use your help. Talk to the ones you know.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, so what we do normally then is that bear is going to come back. We're pretty sure of it. And we're going to hide in the place where it got the most food, which is probably the barn. It got horse feed and chicken feed. So he's going to come and see no attractants, but he's going to try each side out. And we're going to teach him. Okay, sit. Are you ready? Look at him. No bird feeder. Oh my goodness, this bear is not a happy camper. And hey, remember, we can't be mean to the bear because she'll be scared. Oh, here he comes. He can't get into that can. Oh, he can tip it over, but he can't get into it. Yep, it is bear resistant. Oh, look at that. Garage is closed. Now he's coming to the barn. He's coming all the way. He's almost in. Get out of here, bear! 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 Get! Oh, God, almost wiped out. Good job! So now we come back. Okay. So then we come back and we always have a pack feed. So be aware we're working with, we have a big pack feed. Good job on the bears. Here, you can feed him. Good job on the bear. You kids can come up and feed the dogs for what they just did. Good job on the bears. Here, you can, good job.
Make it nicer. You want to try again?
Good job.
There you go. Yeah, take so much nice. Good job.
Feed it. Good job. Is she taking treats?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, just let her stand. There you go. Just loosen up.
Good job. There you go.
There you go. To show that she's a service dog. She gets to fly in airplanes. So now we're gonna do one last little thing for all of you guys, because this took us, 45 minutes to talk to you about how bears learn and what you can do to help. But Mowgli can do this in a much shorter time period. Mowgli can tell you the whole story in 3 minutes. Okay, so come here, Mowg. Why don't you bring him over and maybe he can do one of his first presentations. Come, Mowg. Sit. Okay, get him facing this way. Come on, young. Okay, so Mowgli, give everybody a big Wind River howdy. Howdy. Good. Good. Sit. So, what are we worried about, you guys? What are we worried about? Begging bears. Begging bears. Good. And why are we worried about begging bears? What happens to begging bears? What happens to begging bears? They bang, bang, bang. Dead bears don't move. Okay. Stay. So that's why we stay. So that's why we have the Partners in Life program. That's the name. Partners between bears and no, stay. Bears and dogs and people, so we can all live together. That's his first time ever in front of an audience. Okay, good. So I'm going to ask Mowgli a question. Mowgli, what's it like being a bear dog and watching bears get into trouble again and again at the same place and have to be killed? How is it? How is it? How is it? It's rough. Come on. Okay. So Mowgli, sit. So how is it being a bear dog and having to explain? Oh, it's really rough. Explain that bears love garbage and then generally they end up dead. I mean, they are thrown in the landfill. Believe it or not, that's where they end up. There's nothing wrong with hunting bears, but to have them end up in the landfill, what a waste, right? So, okay, come on. Sit. Okay. So, you guys, are you going to help us keep attractants away from bears so that we don't end up having to put bears down? And you don't end up having property damage? Would you help us?
Yes.
They will, high five! Yay, let's see if we can get this guy to do a high five. They will, high five! Yes! Yeah, look at Sala.
Sala's just, yep.
Yeah, okay, good. So that's it, and if you've got any questions, we'd really like to hear them, and you can answer them. We can answer them. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
I mean, something to tell you. One time, when I was in Libya, I had, a very nice garbage.
Well, now you know that you keep.
That only happened one time.
Okay, very cool. That's awesome.
Whole
Did-
life.
Did your mom help you by getting the bear attractant, the
No,
garbage?
My dad did.
Oh, well, good.
He threw my squirt gun in my toilet.
Oh,
We were standing right at the door, a glass door like this, and I had set the garbage out to take up to our can and said, I know the bears are around, I'm only gonna set this here for a minute, and 2 minutes later, the black
was
bear
right
came
there.
and he got into it.
Yeah.
So it was our fault, but we didn't do it
And
again.
we put a giant bear stuffy over there to Shelly.
Hey,
You learned from it.
all
Good
right,
job.
good, yes.
In my
No. We do, I mean, I'm very proud to say that we have only one time in 30 years had an aggressive response from a bear. And we push about 800 of them worldwide every year. And it's because we're asking them to do something that is easy for them to do, and that's to leave. Yeah. But great question. Yeah.
Where do you guys like based?
We're based right here in Florence. Can you believe that? There's only one team anywhere in the world that does this work, and our headquarters are here in Florence and in Fairbanks, Alaska. And then we've got agencies using our program and our dogs in Washington, in Alberta, and in Japan.
What was your question?
Oh, and in the Northwest Territories now.
I'm asking my daughter, who we were a little late, forgive us, but what are the dogs' names? I think you've said them.
So this is Yanni. He's our youngest. He's 3. Sala.
Sala's the one that's like not looking at anyone. Her name's Sala. She is his mom,
Oh.
and she's from Finland.
And we didn't raise her, so she was raised in a very old style kennel where, I mean, she was bred and raised to hunt bears and moose. And she wasn't socialized. We have a huge socialization process. So our dogs love people, love whatever. She's pretty non-committal about people. You have to be special for her to like you. She really likes Rebecca.
She's, yeah, we're like soulmates. And I love her. So.
And who's your dog?
How long after the bear incident are the dogs able to sniff the trail?
Oh, you're asking a really fun question. So my favorite part of the work is hearing and understanding what the dog says happened, tracking. And it depends on the heat of the day, time of day, the substrate. Like if the bear ran across gravel or pavement and it's nighttime, or cooler place like Canada, we can actually drive through with our dogs going 25 miles an hour, and the dogs are gonna, what we call strike. They're gonna bark and say, bear crossed the road here, and it's here, or hey, there's some bear smell. But tracking wise, it really, like, I've gone in 3 days later and it's rained, and moisture brings up scent, so we can do it. It just depends what it's on. If it's on the bushes, scent is like smoke, it clings to things.
And time of day.
Time of day, heat rises about 3 feet in the middle of the day, so all of a sudden the scent's way up here. Comes down at night. But they're really good at, we can tell different levels. So I will say that this is a hard thing to say because it's the first time I've had to say it, but their dad just died. And he was my soulmate, and his name was Kayla. And I could tell all these different levels. The bear is still here. The bear is 10 minutes, we can catch up to it. The bear was here this morning, last night. Oh, this is an old bear trail. I could tell you what his nose told me. And these guys don't have those levels yet. They're hot. They go, it's bear. And you go, oh, is it still here? Well, you might know if it's still here or not, yes. But beyond that level, they're too young to tell us right now. Yes.
Were you working up the rattlesnake earlier this week?
I was, yes.
She was. Yes.
There's been a bear going up and down, well, I'm sure multiple of the corridor. I have a picture of one from a week ago crossing right below the Ped Bridge up by Pineview Park. Pretty good sized bear.
By what park?
Pineview Park, by the school.
Yeah, I was over there
Yeah.
talking to folks because we actually had 2 different bears in the rattlesnake area. One was entering people's garages that were left open, and another one was entering people's garages and homes. Somebody left their side door open. They said, oh, I've been living here. Somebody lives on Apple Grove, and they've been living there 19 years. They leave their main side door open for their cats to go in and out on a regular basis. She
never had a bear problem.
Yeah, and she had a stack of posh chocolates on her counter that the bear was drawn into, and they also had choke cherries and service berries on their driveway that was drawing the bears in to begin with. And this particular bear couldn't resist the smell of chocolate and entered her home and ate all of the chocolates. Same with me. And
Same with you.
she encountered him in her bedroom. She came home and he's in her bedroom, and the only way out was the door she came in, so she slowly backed out the door. The bear followed.
And she saw all these chocolate wrappers, chocolate stuff.
Thankfully, the bear did not cause any other property damage, did not get into anything else, did not show any aggression towards her or anybody else. It just went on its way as she slowly backed away. So she did the right thing as far as that goes. And hopefully she learned her lesson as far as leaving her side door open.
Was it a black bear?
It was a black bear, yes.
So-
You never introduced Mowgli. Sorry, I had to interrupt because when
thank
she
you.
was asking the dog's names, you never introduced
So
her dog.
this is Mowgli, and he's 4 years old, and he is a full brother to Yanni, who's 3 years old.
And they're both sons of,
Yeah, sorry. She is a mother of both. I forgot to mention that.
and she's 6. Any other questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
You guys can come up at the